Ladies and gentlemen, this championship is going to hot up today. 27 points currently behind the championship leader. That is Charles Leclerc in his illegal Ferrari as well. We're here at Baku, which, it's not the greatest as tracks for me recently, but, who knows as well. Now, R&D wise, I'm going to look around and see what we've got. Minor weight redistribution would be nice, but that's a little bit expensive. Minor tyre wear, although I don't know if that's bugged or not, as well. We don't need fuel efficiency, as well, can't do anything else on the engine. And then there's just literally DRS and potentially front downforce. I don't have enough R&D points for front downforce, so it'll have to be DRS, and hopefully, fingers crossed, I'm going to rush this, because we need that aero, we need the straight line speed for Baku. That is a must. Very good, and it's failed, and I don't have enough R&D points to repurchase it either, so that won't even cut. That might come for Kota, but we'll have to wait and see. And we're pretty much as we were for the top four teams. Mercedes and Alpine have also bought. Alpine, have also bought an upgrade. Renault have bought an upgrade too. No one else has actually bought an upgrade to Baku. We'll have to wait and see what happens in Singapore, but I'd love to get a couple of upgrades before the end of the season. However, R&D regulation reset, of course, and Sainz, you legend, he's purchased the rear downforce. So yeah, do we go and it's a kind of thing, do we try and beat Ferrari now, or do we think about that in the future? Let me know what you would do in the comments below as we move then into qualifying. And well, I don't think this truck's too bad, but my first lap was only good enough for P12. Leclerc is flying round on a 39.1, which again, illegal. But there's nothing I can really do about that. The FIA are refusing to investigate any of the matter, as well as we can now come down into the end of the first sector. 10th and a bit up. That's not too bad. Down to P14 though, so I need a lot more than that. I'm going to beat. I don't think I can beat Leclerc, to be honest. I think I need to get as close as possible to Leclerc, to be honest, and then try and get him in the race. Really, 2/10 up now, so moving into the middle sector as well. Obviously, this isn't quite as damaging as Monza, but I find that we're still a couple of mile an hour short on top speed, and that's really where this car's hurt me. That's not a little bit wayward there too, losing a little bit of time, but not too much there. I'm running like 6.3 wings, and I did think to myself, maybe I should run less than that. Maybe I should go full out to 0.0. I decided against that because I wanted a tyre wear. 6.2 is not going to really do much, I don't think, compared to 0.0. The tyre wear on the rears will still be absolutely atrocious compared to the AI. So I'm getting a lovely slipstream here in the Mercedes. Thank you very much. We'll see what the top speed is. Bearing in mind, I think Leclerc's topped out like 2.26, which is the maximum you can actually go. In actual fact, with a slipstream there, 2.22. So even 4 mile an hour off Leclerc's top speed is though good enough for P7. Hart just 0.6 behind Leclerc as well. The two McLarens are up there, so that's very interesting to see them. Hamilton's finally got his act together, and there's qualified P4 as well. Further down, where's my team? Oh my goodness, 19th. Well, he'd be 18th because Stroll's got a penalty, but 19th, Carlos. 9th. Yeah, but you've out-qualified by Lance Stroll, who's then done some illegal blocking. I didn't see that. So we'll see what we can do then from 7th, but it's time to race.
Okay, mate, only 3 races left, and you've still got a chance at the title, but if we're going to win it, we're going to need some very special performances in every one of those 3, and it starts here. Let's see what you can do today.
Ignoring Mark's inability to count there, race strategy will therefore be a one-stop. Now, it's saying hard, medium. I'm going to fiddle about with the other one and see what medium hard's going to be. I don't know why it's suggesting a 2-stop, you know, it should just be the reverse of this, but never mind. It is saying 3/10 slow. I don't know why starting on hards would be 3/10 slower. Everyone's starting on the hard tyres. You know what? I need a miracle to beat Leclerc. So we'll use the mediums and we'll finish on the hards. If the hard's the best tyre, then I want those at the end of the race. 5 red lights then for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, and after a little bit of a hold, away we go. It's a better start. Can I get a better start than Esteban Ocon? Can I get in front of him? Oh my goodness grief. George Russell braked very early there down the inside. A little bit of banging with tyres with Lewis Hamilton, but we'll gloss over that. Can I get in front of Piastri there? Well, I think it's Piastri, the first of the 2 McLarens. Indeed, Leclerc has lost out then to Norris. That's good for us, and I'm down the inside there, Piastri, enough to pick up onto the podium. So it's been a good start, you know. I was thinking that Leclerc would just sail off into the sunset, but that's not what happened here. And through the middle sector, that's the advantage, having that little bit more down. The Ferrari doesn't quite have as much downforce as this car. I'm all over the back of him, especially through these slow speed traction zones where the AI are always over the place. And I'm having to go down the inside. My intention was I need to get in front of him ASAP. Side by side. Through to the final corner, left us some space, and he's almost put me in the wall. What on earth is Leclerc thinking up there? We'll get a replay of that in just a moment, but first up we need to get past Leclerc with some... I'm going to have to use ERS here. I'm going to squeeze into the outside there. There was a bit of tyre banging there, DRS enabled. I'm up to P2. So here's a replay then. He's just going side by side, and then that looked a little bit bad, to be honest. Let me know. This is the off-board shot, which looks worse, by the way. Just so you know, going side by side, and then it's almost like he bangs into me. And then obviously this is the replay of me overtaking them into turn 1, and there was a bit of contact there, you know, between the two of us. But yes, up to P2, but Norris is the one that was sailing into the sunset. We'll have to think about him later, but first I need to defend from Leclerc, weaving a little bit, you know. I mean, I'll come back to that in the next episode about that as well. And looks like Leclerc has lost a bit of his end plate there. Now, I didn't actually know this at the time, but Leclerc did lose a bit of his end plate while I was weaving. Yes, again, simulation damage. You know, it's one of those things where the AI, with their sometimes lack of awareness, you know, of where the player is, and a lack of avoidance, it is a problem. It always, you know, it always has been, and obviously F125 is no difference with that. And Leclerc has sadly lost his front wing. So, you know, this though, he's going for a set of hard tyres. So he's going to 2-stop, which means this championship could be about to be blown wide open. Now I need to focus on Lando Norris. Unfortunately, tyre wear introduces. Tyre wear, the player, as I've said before, the player really just suffers. And on the rears, it's just always the rears. And that is Antonelli, who is out of the race with an engine failure. Now, I should point out, he's over on the right here, so obviously yellow flag's right. He's actually going to pull over in front of the pit stop, and I do think there should have been a safety car for this, but alas, there wasn't. And there's more bad news coming up.
No, God! No, God, please, no! There seems to be an issue with our ERS.
Yes, I can see that, Mark. For the second time in a row, ERS has failed. Now, fortunately, I was aware that it does reset. Annoyingly, it resets you into none, which is ridiculous. It should remember what setting you were in. But regardless, I decided to pit a lap early. It is a lap early, but I decided ERS has failed. Let's just pit. It did reset before then, but my thinking was if it hadn't reset by the pit lane, at least then I'm not losing time, because you don't gain really anything through the pit. So I'm going to come out in front of Leclerc. Gasly is separated us by the two Renaults, and Leclerc now is on the move. He's already got past the two Racing Bulls. He's now going to go on the inside of Jack Doohan, the first of the two Renaults. Next up will be Pierre Gasly in the other of the Renault cars. I've got the first of the two Audis, and it's Bortoleto, of course, who had that pole position in Canada, if you remember, back to that episode, of course, hasn't really done much since. Down the inside, off the end of that corner, it's a textbook manoeuvre, and up another position. I wanted to get him on the corner before, couldn't quite do that, so it has to be that corner, you know, it's just a textbook manoeuvre. Next up is Behrman, and, you know, I can't be sat behind him for long, and I get past him at what is technically the final corner, but isn't really, you know, getting close to him. The AI seem to struggle out this corner as well. Not allowing me to get the better traction down to what is technically the final corner as well. Next up is Hulkenberg. I had to wait that to turn 3 to actually be able to get him, and Hulkenberg just brakes early anyway, goes the inside, and that's a textbook manoeuvre. And that is Pierre Gasly. He's been overtaken by Leclerc, but he's got an engine failure. So 2 engine failures, and at the same time that was happening, Alonso had his Spinaro into the wall. I'm surprised Alonso's still going with that, because that was a heavy hit. And of course, safety cars being deployed. So everyone's going, all the medium runners are going to pit. And fortunately, just about got out in front of George Russell there as well. But Norris's huge lead is going to be wiped away. I think this is... I'm not entirely sure we don't have a safety car for Gasly, went down the exit road, simple cover, but obviously I think we should have had a safety car for Antonelli's retirement, so we're about equal on safety cars. Safety car then in this lap, you can see there, I'm at a disadvantage. Everybody else is on fresh medium tyres. I'm on not so fresh hard tyres. There's 11% on the rears. I'm going to try and get past Norris as well. This is crucial for the championship. I need these points, but Norris is able to brake later on those fresh medium tyres, and he's gone. That's Norris gone. He's flying around. I'm doing a 44.5. He's doing a 42.5. There's no way I can beat with that. You know, so it's about trying to consolidate P2 here. I've got Russell behind me. We've seen it's been easy to defend Russell. Remember back to Suzuka. You know, the Mercedes engine's not that great, but there has been some changes with them. But unfortunately for Russell, Hamilton is on the move, and Lewis has got past as well, braking late round the outside. Fair play to Lewis for making that move as well. Unfortunately for Russell, is then that's Ocon going past as well, because of course the Ferrari spaceship engine, of course, that they've got installed there, and that's going to be a problem because I've now got Hamilton all over the back of me going through turn 1. He's much more of a threat to me than Russell is as well. Meanwhile, down in P10, that's my teammate Carlos Sainz. I'd love him to be able to score points, but he's got Leclerc right up his gearbox. Hamilton having a go. I'm going to shut the door, which Russell didn't do. You know, how close was this as well for Hamilton making a move? He almost got alongside, but then backed out. He had to back out there as well, and that is unfortunate. Leclerc's got past Sainz, and it looks like Colapinto's going to get past Sainz as well. So Leclerc is up into the points. So the gain is now being eaten away, and that's Hamilton have another go. I'm having to use none of the RS to be able to recover, all the RS to be able to defend down the straight. You know, there's no way otherwise I can just match, because this car is just down on top speed as well. Hamilton's coming to the line! That was almost a photo finish, but not quite. A tenth in it just in the end, I think, there. And it is P2, ladies and gentlemen, which, you know, it's a bit of a somber P2. I'd have loved to have done a little bit more, but obviously You know, the tyre wear was awful, atrocious around here, and the straight line speed was absolutely atrocious. Like, it was worse than Monza, and that's saying something, you know. And that's worrying considering the tracks we got left as well. Sainz finished P11, so that's another no point score for him. So who knows what Red Bull are going to do with that car going potential. Well, if I was doing a season 4, which I'm not, but they would have a problem with that. In terms of the Drivers' Championship, though, it's hotting up. 10 points in it now. So, and Norris with his victory potentially has brought himself back 25 points back. You know, I said it was a 2-horse race. You know, if Leclerc has a terrible race at Singapore, then, you know, I can take the lead the championship. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. The episode be out on Friday. Constructors is pretty much dead because Sainz isn't scoring, so a guaranteed third place no matter what happens. That nasty ERS fault I had gave me 140 R&D points, which, you know, is not great. I'd love a lot more of that. And obviously, on a positive note, the faults has helped identify the problem area. You know, but there's nothing really on that with R&D, so, you know, that's just the way the game is. But ladies and gentlemen, there are 4 rounds remaining then. Singapore has already been recorded. That episode will be out on Friday as well. Is all I'm going to say about that episode. Then we got 3 remaining races, which is a triple header, which is not great in terms of trying to get any final updates that I need. And I'm sort of worried that this is going to slip away. Leclerc was lightning quick, and I mean, he would have won that. He could have won that race had he not run into the back of me. You know, he came back to finish P10 despite doing 2 stops, and yes, potentially helped with the safety car, but he was still coming through. You know, so the fact we've got Singapore and USA, those 2 tracks are not too bad for engine, but yeah, Singapore's not a great track for me. Kota, I haven't done a career mode race in the past 100 years, so I have no idea what the pace is going to be like that. The last time I did a career mode race was like 2021, around there, or something like that, so it has been a very long time. That will also be a sprint race too. Mexico, I did get a podium in season 1, remember, and helped Alex Albon out. I don't quite think it's going to quite go so well there because there's that long straight, and you need straight line speed there. And obviously the finale at Brazil, you need straight line there speed too. Brazil in recent years, for whatever reason, it used to be a good track for me. It's not anymore. So yeah. I personally think I need a miracle still, even though I'm still 10 points behind. Leclerc, if he has a couple of stinkers, then I'm right in it. But those next 2 races are critical for the championship. On that note, I'm going to leave it today's video. If you have enjoyed, leave a like. I'd just like to say a huge thank you for spending 20 and a bit minutes of your time watching me in my F125 driver career mode videos. Until the next video then, I'll see you next time. Take care. Thanks so much for watching. Enjoy your day, and goodbye.